Okay. Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to our community. Coming to you from the I've Decided studios here in Peoria, Illinois. And the Our Community podcast is sponsored by I've Decided and the Greater Peoria Family YMCA, where when you belong to the Y, you belong to something greater. I think it's important for everybody to know that and hear that. And when you are a member of the Y, now you get access to our partners at the Riverplex. So you even get twice the bang for the buck now. So it's really kind of cool. So do you find it difficult or challenging to express how you really feel or share your opinion about something? Do you find yourself concerned about offending or hurting the feelings of someone that you care about? Are you unsure of knowing when the right time is to share how you feel? Well, if you answered yes to any of those questions, I think Jackie and I are going to be able to help you today, because we are going to dig in and talk about the word express, which is the weekly winning word for the I've Decided community. And joining me today is the one and only Jackie Greer-Buchanan, who is well known in the I've Decided community. Jackie is a I've Decided success partner.
Yes, I am.
Also an independent travel business owner. Is that right?
That is correct.
And a retired teacher.
Yeah, retired.
And a double Dutch champion. Is that the right way to say that?
I would say double Dutch champion, but I love jumping double Dutch.
Yeah.
Put it like that.
And where do you do that at, Jackie?
I do that at the YMCA.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and about what this double Dutch thing is?
Oh, well, I wanted to express the fact that people can come out and just play with us.
Right.
Come out and play. We are all over the world, and just getting a chance to get out and do some adulting, just to get away from all the things, the responsibilities at home, and come out and just have a good time.
So this double Dutch community.
Notice my self-care shirt I've got on here. Yeah. This is Cammie, who has designed this, but I received this from Tanya Pops. It says, "I'm the queen of self-love."
Of self-love, I like it.
So I thought it was very good to wear that today, and I got one other thing before we get off.
Go ahead.
This jacket was designed. It says 40 plus. Now it's not the 40 plus double Dutch, but that's the 40 plus. That's the Buchanan family. My husband and I have been married over 40 plus years.
Oh, really?
So it was designed for us. And right here, there's the year. If you can read Roman numerals.
I know what an X means.
Yeah, okay. And it says Ribbon in the Sky. And that was a song that was written by Stevie Wonder for us when we got married.
I think I know
Ribbon in the Sky for our love. So, yeah, she designed this for us, and it's got Buchanan on the back.
That
so I am just full of love, expressions of love all day. So Buck and I both have jackets like
Buck is
this.
your husband?
Yeah, Buck is my husband. Yes, he is. So anyway, I needed to say that.
I'm glad you did. And after the show, we're gonna have to read those Roman numerals, figure out what that says. That's a lot of numbers. That's
okay. Yeah, if I've been married over 40 years, and it's just 19 something.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yes.
Well, good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little bit about expressing ourselves. Right. See if we can't help others maybe overcome some of the challenge that comes with that.
Yeah.
So I've got 3 things I want to ask, 3 statements I'm going to make, see if you agree with those or not.
Okay, very good.
Would you agree that it's our human nature to not want to be offensive or to upset others? Okay. Do you believe that timing is everything, especially when the subject matter is sensitive?
Yes, I do.
And do you believe that some of us are better than others, but we can all develop more confidence when it comes to expressing ourselves?
I've not had a problem expressing myself.
I believe that.
I'm the oldest daughter, have a brother and a sister that I just adore, both of them. And that was very, very important to me, that I be the best model that I could be. And I took my role very seriously. So there were times that I had to express a lot. You can call it know-it-all or whatever you want to call it. But I had to learn that there were certain things that just the way that you say it, the way that you say it and expressing yourself, because sometimes when people are pretty bold and courageous in their thoughts and know their boundaries and all those things, it might be a little bit different because I was very protective of my brother and sister. So I would express myself. And it was an expectation. My family expected that from me.
Right.
So.
Well, I think that's good. And you touched on one of the components that Kim laid out in her article this week of it's not necessarily what you say, it's how you say it.
Oh yeah.
We're going to talk about that and the whole body language thing and all of that stuff. So the 7 components to successfully sharing how you really feel. That was the title, I think, for the article that Kim wrote. And so let's dig into those 7 different components and talk a little about those things and maybe bring up some real life examples of things that we've dealt with. But the first one, which I think is a really important one, is you got to take your time, right? You got to
take a
be
deep breath.
thoughtful.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah. Take a deep breath,
yeah.
right? And really gather your thoughts and be patient about what it is you're about to say. And that's easier said than done because you just want to get it out there sometimes too, right?
Do. I think being a grandmother, I have one granddaughter, and that granddaughter has helped me, to just pause a little bit, be more patient.
Why is that?
And I wonder why. The girls are like, "You changed, Mom," and maybe I have.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit more conscious and sensitive about what I say and how I say it. And I'm always listening to see how they're saying things too, to make sure that generation we're passing it down, the right nuggets,
modeling the right
behaviors.
I think that's really important, and I think a lot of it comes from, at least in my experience, just comes from experience, right, and maturity. And I have 4 kids at home. The youngest of those 4 is my only daughter, and my sons tell me all the time that I'm different with how I treat her than how I treated them.
Oh yeah,
right.
I hear that.
Which is probably true, but it's not necessarily because she's a girl, although I think sometimes it is because it's different. But it's because I've learned a lot and how
you have in your parenting.
Yeah, because of how I treated my oldest when he was young is a lot different than how I've treated my youngest. And whether that's and I would say it's absolutely better, but it's not because I'm being unfair. It's because I've had more experience and I failed more, right, through that process. So I think being intentional about taking your time is really, really important, especially when it comes to expressing yourself. That way you want to make sure that you say it the right way.
Yeah, you want to make sure that it's received the right way as well. That you're just not throwing out words out there. You're definitely, basing it on experience or knowledge and just that I want what's right. I want, I want my thoughts to come out correctly.
Yeah.
And so, we need to do that, to practice that.
And then the next component is about practice.
Oh, there we have
it. Right? It's about thinking about it ahead of time, right? And I would even say maybe practice with somebody else that you can trust that will give you some feedback on is the way you're delivering that message, whether it might be a significant other. I do that with my wife a lot. Hey, what do you think about this? Or in my work life, I have some staff that I can lean into a little bit about the way that I want to communicate different messages.
Yeah, and they're going to be honest with you too. They're going to, be honest, and Buck's like that with me, my husband. He's going to tell me the truth whether I want to hear it or not.
And it's important to have those people in our life, right?
And I call it. My daughter recently wrote a book, and she calls it the mirror work, where you stand right there in that mirror.
Oh yeah.
With yourself, and you either practice or just say it aloud,
right?
And see if your words are aligning with your actions.
Oh wow, yeah. That is really important. The being pitch perfect is how Kim framed it in her article. And when I think about that, I think about body language. How are you saying the words that you need to say? What is the how's it coming across, right? It's not necessarily what you say; it's how you say it, right? And I think that that's really important. And as you practice, the delivery or the message ahead of time, I think you can really kind of refine how it is received,
Mhm.
and think about it from that perspective.
Mhm.
How is this going to be heard?
Yeah, I can be pretty loud, so I
Yeah.
have to watch that. I mean, I laugh loud, I have a good
Mm-hmm.
time, but so somebody might take that the wrong way, that tone or the pitch that we use. So I think it's very, very important, especially if we, using positive words,
Right.
uh, so that they know that no, I'm not mad.
Yeah.
I
Right.
might be passionate about something,
Right.
and that's what's coming out. But so that pitch is, it doesn't have to be perfect, but working towards making it sound
Mm-hmm.
correct.
Yeah, and another example, and you hit the nail on the head. The words that we choose are really important,
Mhm.
and using positive words in the messaging is really important. So
Kind
rather
words.
than
I tell my
telling
granddaughter,
somebody,
kind words.
yeah, rather than telling somebody they stunk at something
Hmm.
or that they screwed up in some way, there's a better way to say that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Right.
And
Right.
I think that that's really important to think about, how you can frame the messaging in a way that you are using positive tone and positive words, so that people are going to respond better to
Hmm.
that than using
Hmm.
the negative
Hmm.
approach. I think,
I think so.
and I think the negative approach is maybe more of an old school approach.
Hmm.
So I coach a lot of sports, and I just finished up coaching junior high basketball, the girls basketball team, and that's something that I've learned is really effective for me over the years, is how I communicate with these young ladies that I'm coaching about, things that I want them to do better, or
Hmm.
things that they
Hmm.
can execute better from an offensive mindset or things like that. And I have to be really, really intentional about how I say that, because if I just tell them they screwed up, they shut down
Oh
immediately and they
yeah.
don't want
Oh
to hear
yeah.
it from me
Definitely.
anymore. And I've got to make sure that that message comes
You
across in the
do.
right way.
You do. I coached tennis. And matter of fact, I've got a unit that I did with my tennis girls, high school tennis
Mm,
girls, on personal development,
okay.
because it was very important to me that they knew the etiquette of the court.
Oh, okay.
That they walked away feeling good about that.
Mm,
Because sometimes it's hard to take a lose when you're not the one that's winning, and
yeah,
but to be
absolutely.
able to keep that posture that
Hmm.
I'm going to get better next time. This we may have lost today, but you know the next time we're on the court,
Right.
we're going to dominate a little
There's always
differently.
something you can learn through that
Oh yeah,
experience,
you can
right?
learn
Whether you
something
win
in
or
that. So
lose, for
yeah,
sure.
but personal development is very, very important.
Yeah,
But with as far as with my team.
that's
But
good.
yeah,
Good deal. The next component is cut to the chase.
cut to
Don't
the
say too many
chase.
words,
Cut to
Jackie.
the chase.
Right? Really be sure about what it is that you're going to say, and say it clearly, and in a sense, be quick about it.
Hmm.
Right?
Don't beat around the bush. Why are
No,
you going to beat around the bush? Because
no.
people kind of know when you're doing
But I
that.
want to beat around the bush because I want to make sure
You.
that you are comfortable,
Hmm. Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But that's not
But
necessarily always the case.
no, people want to hear what you have to say, and I don't think you need to just hold on to that information. You need to go on and make it clear, make it plain,
Yeah,
get it out, be courageous, and say it.
yeah,
I mean, you don't have to say everything that comes to your mind, but and then if you think that you're going to be offend someone, write it down. It might be, journal it, write it down. What do you
mm,
really want to say? And
yeah.
then you're going to pinpoint exactly what is it that I need to say
Right,
and how I need to say it,
right.
and stick to the script.
Yeah, exactly. That sticks to the script. I think
Stick to
I
the
think
script.
oftentimes it's the fear,
Uh-huh.
right, of
Oh
the
yeah.
moment and the emotion that just causes us to, we just want to talk, talk,
Mm-hmm,
talk, talk,
mm-hmm,
talk, talk, talk,
mm-hmm.
talk, talk, and never really get to the
Over
point.
talk, overthink, over talk, overthink. Yes.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and if you really want to be effective in the moment, you've got to be direct. You got to be kind in the
Mm-hmm.
way you do it. You got to make sure that you have, proper body language, all of those things, and how you do it. Because, and we'll get to this a little bit later, but there, after you say what you said, there's got to be some dialogue
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
too, right? So if you can just get it out there, get it on the table, and then that's going to give you time
Right, right.
to
That's
have some
good. That's good, Andy.
conversation, right? And
That's good.
hopefully some growth
Mm-hmm.
through that experience. So, the next step, which is kind of goes along with cut to the chase and get it out there, is you don't have to say it 10 times either.
Oh yeah, that's redundant. Nobody
Right?
wants to hear it over and
You
over
don't have to
again.
repeat
No,
it over and
no,
over and
no,
over again.
no. And you know, you made me think about something. But when you're expressing yourself, my grandmother used to say, "Hey, I can't read your mind."
Mm,
So you know, that's another thing to keep in the back, that you know you have to share what is on your mind.
yeah.
You know, we have to do that.
I don't know anybody that can read
You
anybody's
can't read
mind,
your
really.
mind, so you know
I have
you
that
need to tell me.
conversation at home. Don't tell my wife, but
Yeah.
her and I say that a lot to my
Yeah,
wife. That
you can't. I can't read your mind.
if you don't tell me,
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
And I realize that it may be uncomfortable to tell me when I'm messing up or screwing up, but
Mhm.
I'm a big boy. I can handle it. And I would rather know so I can fix it.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. That's
So
very good.
just let me know what it is, and then we can move on from
Mhm.
there.
But we can do that. We unintentionally do the repetitious
Sure.
thing where you know you. It's not like it's planned, but when you catch yourself doing it, you know, there's your pause. You know, pause and just step back
Yeah.
and think about exactly what it is that you want to convey.
Yep. Use short and concise phrases, right? And you mentioned it before.
Mhm.
Maybe make some notes so that
Mhm.
you know
Make some
exactly what it
notes.
is you want to address and say.
I like that. I like the feel, felt, found.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
this way. I felt blah blah, and what
I felt this
found.
way when
Yeah.
you did this or when you said
Mhm.
this, right?
Those are
And
good.
I think that that's
That's
really
very very good. Very helpful phrases
Mhm.
to use when you're wanting to express yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then the final step of all of it is you got to be able, you got, after you've communicated what you communicate, you got to be willing to listen,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh yeah.
And in my world, we actually train our staff. I've been trained on the value of active listening,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? And are you familiar with
I'm
that
definitely.
strategy and
I'm a
that
teacher,
phrase of,
and I used to talk, teach that as far as active listening in speech classes and just.
So what does active
hearing
listening
it.
mean to you, and how do you
Well,
utilize it?
I'm really listening. I'm not, because sometimes you could appear to be listening and your thoughts are everywhere.
Right.
I have to be very intentional. It's like, okay, I want to hear exactly what you're saying, Andy. So I'm going to focus on what you're saying, not on what I'm going to be preparing for dinner, or what happened, or trying to figure out what you're going to say. We
Right.
also try to in our head, like,
Sure.
what's he going to say now?
Right.
No.
Finish a sentence for somebody.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So just to be there at that moment, to be there,
right,
and to listen, and it takes practice,
right.
because you got that, you can wander, you can just go places. So come back to the room.
And so what I've been taught, it goes along with those lines, is making sure you're intentional, you're in the moment. But for the person that I'm in conversation with, so for the benefit of you, when you and I are talking, it's important for me to repeat some of the things that you've said to me.
Oh yeah.
Maybe in a different
Yeah.
framework or a different phrase, so that I've heard what you said.
Right.
And we try to use this strategy, in
That's
the
good.
why, when we're engaging with new members and trying to understand why'd you come here today, type of thing, right? And as we're going through that conversation, it's a trained skill to make sure that. So what I heard you say earlier was that it's important for you to to be here in the moment, and you're going to be focused on listening to what I have to say and not thinking about something else that's going on in your life.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I think that that's really important. And if I can, if you and I are having a conversation and I can repeat back to you what you said to me, how's that going to make you feel?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'll feel validated. I feel that you are listening, that you hear what I say,
right?
What I'm saying. Yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah. So, I think while it's difficult to address tough subject matter or tough situations with somebody, or something that may be concerning you about a relationship that you have, probably the most important part of the whole thing is after you've said what you got to say, is you got to be willing to listen and give that other individual an opportunity to respond.
Right.
Because I've also learned that through those experiences, that oftentimes the way I feel may be a misunderstanding,
Mhm.
right? And when you have an opportunity to discuss it and have dialogue about it, you learn
Mhm.
about where you may have misread something or misheard something or
Definitely.
misinterpreted something.
Definitely.
And all of that gets worked out through conversation.
It does. And that works so well with my students when we were working through conflict resolutions.
Mm.
You know, just it worked out just to hear what each other are saying. And,
Mhm.
and we would train that, okay, you listen and take turns and all of that. It worked out. But it's very effective.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I agree. So
What we got here?
hopefully this has been helpful to folks that are out there, because it's a difficult skill set,
Yeah.
right? To be comfortable with expressing yourself,
Mhm.
right? Because you're not always sure that others want to hear what you have to say,
Mhm.
number one. But you want to be you want people to respect you as an individual, I think. And when you have the confidence to say how you feel or say something that's important to you, I think that says a lot about you and maybe to your team. I look at it from the perspective of I've got 125 to 150 people that I'm responsible for at the YMCA, right? Who are all employees. And
Very awesome.
it's important for me, for them to know that I have confidence in my ability, but I'm also understanding that I'm not the be all end all. I don't have all of the answers, right? So it's important for me to communicate effectively to my team, but it's also important for me to listen, right, to my team.
Yeah,
as well.
because you want to. That's why when you walk in there, you want to develop a culture that's a give and take.
Right.
That people are looking at you and they respect you, and they know that they have input, they have feedback, that they matter. So all of that goes in with the climate and the culture that you're creating, like the culture that we have that I've decided.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. Well, hopefully this has been helpful to some of you out there in the I've Decided community and even beyond. If you're catching this on one of our resources where the podcast is shared, which is on many, I think, and I'm drawing a blank on all of them right now. But if you're watching this today, hopefully we've been able to help you a little bit with the the subject matter of expressing yourself effectively. And we look forward to seeing you next time here on our community.